Thank you, Michael. So my talk title today, The Time to Celebrate, is Now. I've been talking a lot about being in the now lately, right? This now moment. And I promise you, I am not rushing the holiday season when I talk about the now and celebration. However, if you're one to look at the calendar, you will note that Christmas Eve is 2 months from today. But we're not living in 2 months from today, are we? We're living in this now moment. And perhaps my title was triggered a little bit by the 3 celebrations of life service that I did this past week, honoring 4 people who have passed from this earthly realm. And I thought, we're here. It's a time to celebrate. There's always something to celebrate. You know, sometimes in services, when someone that we love has made their transformation to the next level, we might say, they call it a homegoing. And that's something to celebrate. And also this week, I celebrated a homecoming. Not a football game or a dance, but the coming home of my husband, Ken, who had been out of town for 2 whole weeks. So that was something to be celebrated. We can always find reasons to celebrate. Why wait for a special occasion? And this month in Unity, we celebrate the spiritual power of zeal. And the color for zeal is orange. So let's wake up that zeal in us today. What do you say? Let's find all the reasons that we can to celebrate right in the midst of everything that might be going on. The revealing word tells us that zeal is the inward fire of the soul that urges man onward, regardless of the intellectual mind of caution and conservatism. So sometimes we're too cautious or too conservative to be in this zeal and celebration. My brother just told a story yesterday. We were talking about the Lions, who are coming into their 7th game today. Unlike the University of Michigan Wolverines that are 7-0 so far this season, the Lions are 0, and let's hope it's not 7 after today. But my brother was sharing that it was during the Green Bay Packers game when the Lions played the Green Bay Packers recently, and they were way in the first half, and they were looking really good, and they were doing really good, and he was wanting to cheer, and he said, "Don't cheer yet," he told himself. Don't cheer yet. And they lost the game. I say cheer every time they do something good, right? Let's celebrate all the good. So what that the result of the game left an L on their schedule, on their stats? They did good. They did a lot of really good things. Zeal encourages us to go forward with enthusiasm. And sometimes people can get a little bit too enthusiastic and jump forward into things without thinking. And so we are encouraged when we use our spiritual power of zeal to use it in cooperation with the spiritual power of wisdom. The revealing word tells us that if we do that, when we do that, we will find happiness and satisfaction. So in other words, what it's telling us is to develop a center point where the two can come into balance with one another. Find the balance. Now, Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, had a famous affirmation that he wrote when he was 94 years young. And he said, "I verily sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with mighty faith to do the things which ought to be done by me." That part that ought to be done by me, that's the wisdom part, right? I can want to take on the world. I can feel so full of zeal and enthusiasm that I can do all things, but not all things are mine to do. So Charles was clear on that. Charles also said in one of my favorite affirmations, I am calm and centered in the Christ mind, and nothing can disturb the calm peace in my soul. Balance. Okay? So all of the powers are within us, and we choose which ones to bring forward. All of the powers were said are connected to a color, a disciple in our body. And so I thought one way to remind ourselves to use zeal and wisdom together would be to touch those places on us that represent the power. So zeal is at the base of the skull, in the back of your head here. And wisdom is in the solar plexus. So when we touch these places, we're combining, we're getting in touch with the self that holds all these spiritual powers. Zeal and wisdom working together will allow us to say the power of zeal and wisdom are now active in my mind, my body, and my life. I go forward in Christ consciousness to do all that is mine to do. I celebrate this moment. Celebrate this moment in each now moment, every chance you get. For you never know when your next chance to celebrate might come. Most of you will remember my friend April Ellenberg. She's been here with you a few times, did the Easter Sunday service. April's filled with enthusiasm. And a couple of weeks ago, she participated in the 3-day nation Komen Walk for a Cure. She's been walking for breast cancer awareness for 19 years. And her Facebook post read after the national 3-day, $3.3 million raised. That's worth celebrating. Yeah? So we might think, but there's no cure yet. And people I know and love are still being diagnosed with and treated for and going through this cancer. Well, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and my combined wisdom and zeal guided me to reach out to several people who are breast cancer survivors, who are undergoing treatment now, or have otherwise experienced the journey through breast cancer. Several people I reached out to, and every single one responded to my request that I would like to share for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. What is the one thing that you want everybody to know? And they came forward with this in no particular order. Thanks for honoring breast cancer awareness. Be informed of all treatment options. Prayer and visualization help. Know that the cancer is not a part of you. Your essence remains pure. Don't put off your annual mammograms and do self-breast exams monthly. If you're diagnosed, don't beat yourself up about what you could have done. Find a support group or talk with others who have gone through breast cancer. My breast cancer diagnosis was a gift. It woke me up. Through treatment, I found faith, hope, strength, and purpose. Another thanks for speaking on breast cancer. Breast cancer affects a lot more people than you think. It's not just about the one diagnosed. Make sure that the caregivers are okay. That's the most important part. They take on all your care, appointments, eating, medications, etc. And no one's there taking care of them. And when things go wrong, they feel alone. There are many ways to support patients. Chemo Angels is a program that matches volunteers with someone going through chemo. They send letters of encouragement. Cancer patients don't need pity. We can still do things and enjoy life. Don't exclude me just because I'm going through chemo. I will decide if I can or want to join an activity or not. Your sexuality and attractiveness is not in your breasts. It's in your mind and in your energy. Reach out to friends and relatives for support. 85% of people who get breast cancer have no family history of it. Men can get breast cancer too. There is no age limit. Even very young people can be affected. Early detection saves lives. There are several free programs available for those who need support, some offering free mammograms and PAPs for low-income and uninsured women. You are not alone. I share these words of wisdom with you today in celebration of the strength and the courage people have when they're moving through this journey and what they want us to know. Next month, April will participate in another 3-day, 60-mile walk in San Diego, California. Life is worth celebrating every step of the way, pun intended. Every step counts. I used to think we dedicate a whole month to breast cancer awareness, and yes, I'm aware that it exists, and yes, I'm aware that it affects people, and yes, I'm aware that it's a really tough journey, and yes, I'm aware that people are still dying from this, and yes, I'm aware that there's not a cure. Why would I celebrate that? And then I realized we are moving toward the awareness and the cure and the comfort that is needed. So many people around the world are standing up for and acknowledging this journey. That's to be celebrated. So let's remember to support April and all the other walkers around the world who walk for breast cancer awareness and to find a cure. We can support them through our prayers. April also wanted me to offer to all of you an opportunity to share with her the name of a loved one or yourself that you would like her to walk in honor or in memory of. So if there's someone that you'd like April to include in her walk, she wears a pendant that has all the names of the people she walks for, and she holds them in her prayers as she walks and through the journey. So contact me if you would like me to give a name to April for someone that you would like to hold in prayer. So although cancer hardly seems a reason to celebrate, we've heard what they've shared. Together, I believe that we will all celebrate a cure someday. But don't wait until someday. Celebrate each step, each survivor, each journey. Celebrate in the midst of life. find a reason every day to celebrate. There's a story in the Gospel of John, chapter 4. It's not in the middle of the Bible, but it's still very relevant. Jesus had been out with his disciples and going around and healing and teaching. And they were concerned about him because he had been going on, the journey was long. And they wanted him to stop and to rest and to have something to eat. And Jesus said to them, "The food that keeps me going is that I do the will of the one who sent me, finishing the work he started." As you look around right now, wouldn't you say that in about 4 months it will be time to harvest? And they agreed. And he said, "Well, I am telling you to open your eyes and take a good look at what's right in front of you now. The fields are ripe. It's harvest time." So what he was saying is, by our physical observation, we're in a period of waiting. We've sown the seeds and we're waiting for the harvest to be ripe for picking. He says every day is a time to reap. Everything you need is already here for you. In fact, it's in you. Celebrate. Celebrate who you are. Celebrate your connection with the divine. Celebrate your oneness with others in that divine consciousness. Don't wait. Don't wait until harvest time. Don't wait until Thanksgiving to give thanks. Don't wait until Christmas to gather with family and friends and to shower one another with love and gifts. Don't wait until a new year comes to turn over a new leaf. Don't wait. Celebrate in each now moment the truth that we know and share. Will you pray with me? We just take a moment here and now to be grateful in this moment. In this now moment. There is so much to be grateful for, to give praise for, to celebrate, to enjoy. Help us to bring our focus into this space, into this awareness, so that we may go forward in the divine wisdom and zeal that is the truth of who we are, and that we share this enthusiasm for life with all others, thus creating a world that is filled with light and love and so much to celebrate. Amen.